Anti-Semitism is a specific and dangerous form of prejudice directed against Jewish people. It is not simply a dislike or disagreement, it is a deep-seated hatred. This animosity can manifest in many ways, from harmful stereotypes and discriminatory words to violent actions and even genocide. Understanding anti-Semitism means recognizing its long, painful history and its ability to adapt to new contexts. It is a problem because it denies Jewish people their basic human rights and safety. It also serves as a warning sign for society, often indicating deeper societal problems and a rise in broader intolerance. We must see it for what it is, a poison that harms not only its direct victims, but the fabric of any community where it takes root. Its persistence throughout centuries makes it a particularly insidious challenge to overcome. The scale of anti-Semitism globally is alarming, affecting Jewish communities far and wide. Recent studies and reports from organizations like the Anti-Defamation League and Tel Aviv University show a disturbing surge in anti-Semitic incidents. These incidents range from online harassment and vandalism of synagogues to physical assaults. Millions of Jewish people around the world live with the awareness of this threat. In Europe, for example, many Jews report feeling unsafe and consider emigrating. In the United States, anti-Semitic attacks have reached record highs in recent years. This is not a problem confined to one region. It is a global phenomenon that requires global attention and action. These numbers are not just statistics. They represent real people whose lives are impacted by hate. Historically, Jewish communities, including those in the Middle East and Africa, have faced profound hostility and displacement. For centuries, Jews lived in many parts of the Middle East and North Africa, contributing to the rich tapestry of these societies. However, the 20th century saw widespread expulsions and violence against these ancient communities. Following the establishment of Israel, hundreds of thousands of Jews were forced to flee countries like Iraq, Egypt, Yemen, and Syria, often leaving behind everything they owned. This history is frequently overlooked or denied, yet it is a crucial part of understanding the Jewish experience and the anxieties that persist today. These historical traumas are not distant memories. They are living history for many families, shaping their understanding of the world and their place within it. The current realities for many Jewish people are deeply intertwined with this history of persecution. The memory of expulsions, pogroms, and the Holocaust creates a backdrop of caution and at times fear. When anti-Semitic incidents occur today, they are not seen as isolated events. Instead, they often evoke this long history of vulnerability. This is particularly true in regions where anti-Semitic rhetoric is openly promoted by governments or influential groups. The feeling of being constantly targeted, whether subtly or overtly, takes a significant toll. It fosters an environment where Jewish people may feel the need to be perpetually vigilant, questioning their security and acceptance even in places they call home. This enduring sense of precariousness is a heavy burden to carry. Living with the constant threat of anti-Semitism inflicts a heavy emotional and psychological toll on Jewish individuals. Imagine knowing that a part of your identity could make you a target for hatred or violence. This creates a persistent undercurrent of anxiety for many. It can lead to hypervigilance, where individuals are always on alert for potential threats, scrutinizing words and actions for hidden anti-Semitic meanings. This state of heightened awareness is exhausting. Simple daily activities like going to a synagogue, wearing a Star of David, or sending children to a Jewish school can become sources of worry rather than joy or routine. This fear is not irrational. It is a response to real and documented threats and incidents that continue to occur globally. The impact of anti-Semitism extends deeply into the daily lives of Jewish people, often forcing them to make difficult choices. Some may choose to hide their Jewish identity in certain situations to avoid confrontation or discrimination. This might mean not mentioning their faith, not wearing religious symbols, or even changing their names. Others might avoid certain places or online forums where anti-Semitism is rampant. These decisions, while aimed at self-preservation, can lead to feelings of inauthenticity or a sense of being constantly on guard. The need to conceal a core part of oneself can be profoundly alienating. It limits personal freedom and expression, creating an invisible barrier between Jewish individuals and the wider society around them. This constant calculus of safety versus identity is a burden no one should have to bear. Struggles with identity are a common psychological consequence of pervasive anti-Semitism. When the world around you constantly bombards you with negative stereotypes or questions your legitimacy, it can be difficult not to internalize some of that hostility. Young Jewish people, in particular, may grapple with understanding their place in a world that seems to harbor such animosity towards their group. They might question whether it is safe to be openly Jewish, or wonder why they are being targeted for something they cannot change. This can lead to confusion, anger, or even shame associated with their Jewish identity. The effort to maintain a positive self-image in the face of such negativity requires immense resilience and often strong community support. As a response to this pervasive threat, Jewish individuals and communities have developed various coping mechanisms, some healthier than others. Unfortunately, one way some individuals cope is through denial, trying to ignore the problem or downplay its severity. This might offer temporary relief, but ultimately leaves them unprepared and vulnerable. In more extreme cases, individuals might internalize anti-Semitic tropes, leading to self-blame or even a form of self-hate, where they try to distance themselves from their Jewishness. This is a tragic outcome of relentless societal pressure and prejudice. These are often unconscious strategies to navigate an unbearable reality, highlighting the deep psychological wounds that anti-Semitism can inflict upon its targets. It is a testament to the corrosive power of hate. Beyond denial or self-blame, Jewish people have also developed more constructive coping mechanisms. Many channel their experiences into activism, not only fighting anti-Semitism, but also advocating for other marginalized groups. This reflects a deep-seated Jewish value of tikkun olam, repairing the world. Philanthropy is another common response, with Jewish communities historically establishing robust networks of support for their own members and for broader societal causes. This focus on building, educating, and contributing can be a powerful way to counteract the destructive force of hatred. It's a way of asserting agency and refusing to be defined solely by the prejudice directed against them. These positive responses demonstrate resilience and a commitment to creating a better world despite adversity. Anti-Semitism affects Jews in ways that are uniquely insidious compared to other forms of prejudice. It is often called the oldest hatred due to its millennia-long history and its remarkable ability to adapt and reappear in different forms. Anti-Semitism is not just simple bigotry. It frequently involves complex conspiracy theories that portray Jews as secretly controlling the world, manipulating governments, or being responsible for global problems. This makes it particularly difficult to combat, as it often masquerades as political critique or intellectual discourse. Unlike some prejudices that target groups perceived as inferior, anti-Semitism often paradoxically accuses Jews of being both inferior and malevolently powerful, a confusing and dangerous combination that fuels its persistence. This conspiratorial nature sets anti-Semitism apart. While many minority groups face discrimination based on being perceived as less than, anti-Semitism often paints Jews as more than possessing hidden nefarious power. This punching-up narrative allows anti-Semites to frame themselves as brave truth-tellers fighting a powerful oppressor, rather than as bigots attacking a vulnerable minority. This makes it harder for some observers who are accustomed to seeing prejudice as an oppression of the powerless to recognize anti-Semitism for what it is. The shape-shifting quality of anti-Semitic tropes means they can attach to any ideology, right-wing, left-wing, or religious extremism, making it a versatile tool for demagogues and hate-mongers across the political spectrum. This adaptability is a key reason for its stubborn endurance. The psychological experience of anti-Semitism can also differ based on geographical and political contexts, such as comparing the experiences of Jews in the diaspora with those in Israel. For many Jews in the diaspora, anti-Semitism can manifest as a low-level chronic threat, punctuated by acute incidents that create fear and a sense of otherness. There's often a feeling of being a perpetual minority. In Israel, while Jews are a majority, the nation itself exists in a hostile regional environment, and anti-Semitism fuels much of the political and military conflict. The mental health outcomes can vary. Diaspora Jews might experience more anxiety related to social integration and hidden discrimination, while Israelis might face trauma related to conflict and national security, though daily life within Israel might feel freer from personal anti-Semitic attacks in some ways. The profound psychological damage caused by anti-Semitism cannot be overstated. It is a suffocating force that instills fear, erodes identity, and forces individuals to live under a constant shadow of potential hate. This is not just an abstract concern. It translates into tangible mental health challenges. including increased rates of anxiety, depression, and trauma-related stress among Jewish people who experience or witness anti-Semitism. The need to be constantly vigilant, to second-guess interactions, and to potentially hide one's heritage takes an immense toll on individual well-being and on the collective health of the Jewish community. This hidden cost is a heavy price to pay for simply existing as a Jew in many parts of the world today. It is crucial to understand that anti-Semitism is not just a Jewish problem. It is a societal problem. Historically, flare-ups of anti-Semitism have often been barometers of wider social malaise, intolerance, and the erosion of democratic values. When anti-Semitism is allowed to fester, it signals that hatred and conspiracy theories are gaining ground, threatening not only Jews, but the foundations of a just and equitable society for everyone. A society that tolerates anti-Semitism is a society that is making itself vulnerable to other forms of bigotry and extremism. Therefore, fighting anti-Semitism is an act of self-defense for any healthy democracy. It is about upholding universal values of human dignity and respect for all people. Confronting anti-Semitism effectively requires a multifaceted approach centered on education and the courage to speak out. Education is vital to debunk the myths and conspiracy theories that fuel anti-Semitic hatred. This includes teaching the long history of anti-Semitism, its various manifestations, and its devastating consequences. It also means learning about Jewish history, culture, and contributions to society beyond the context of persecution. Furthermore, individuals, communities, and leaders must find the courage to unequivocally condemn anti-Semitism whenever and wherever it appears, without caveats or justifications. Silence and indifference are the allies of hate. Active opposition is its enemy. This takes moral clarity and a commitment to stand with the targeted. Ultimately, confronting and combating anti-Semitism is essential for everyone's future. A world that is safe for Jews is a world that is safer and more just for all minorities and indeed for all people. By addressing this ancient hatred, we strengthen our commitment to human rights, critical thinking, and mutual respect. It is a fight for the kind of world we want to live in, one where diversity is celebrated and no group has to live in fear. The challenge is significant, but it is one we must meet with resolve and unity. The future demands that we learn from the past and work tirelessly to ensure that the psychological suffocation caused by hate is replaced by the breathable air of acceptance and security for all.